Hey all, welcome to part 2 of the game of the month. I'm Ultraviolent4 and we are playing a Minotaur Gladiator. From what I've seen so far, for this first month we've rolled a pretty strong seed, which is probably a good thing because I wanted this to be more of a straightforward game so that it's more of a beginner friendly round for the first round, I guess. We're on D5 and we've already found a couple of really strong wands, a shield and a crystal plate armor. That last one is absolutely insane. Very rare item to find at all, let alone in the early game when you're playing a character that wants the heaviest armor possible. Quick skill check, everything looks fine, I think. This is basically going to be our training for a while until we get to MiGl on our axe. Just focus axe, then fighting armor shields. And we have a little bit of a conundrum here, although not extremely strong, because strong. An extremely strong conundrum. How do you describe a conundrum? Strong's not right. I don't know. Anyway, we have a bit of a conundrum because we have both an ossuary and a sewer entrance on this floor. But we might not be able to choose anyway because we don't have a magic mapping. So we're just going to have to see what we can find. Given a choice between which two, I'm not going to check this out. This looks kind of spooky. And we want to just be trying to find the portals. But given the choice, I think I'd rather head into the sewer. We hear distant drain and distant avalanche, so they're both kind of nearby. Here's an ogre. So why sewer? We don't have any curing potions whatsoever, or potentially, oh, there you go. And we also don't have any heal wounds potions, both of which are very common in sewers, so that would be very valuable for us. Whereas ossuary is usually a bit of a mixed bag. I went for acid here. That might seem like a bit of an overplay, but if we got really lucky, it's possible we could do both the sewer and the ossuary. Some layouts of, well, both really can be shorter than others. So this ogre here, even if he couldn't kill us due to our wands and potion petition, he can hit us for a lot of damage. So we really don't want to have to stop and rest. I'm going to whack him again. Just absolutely make sure that we don't take a big chunk of HP while we're trying to explore around. Reach level 8. So stair up. Alright, there's our ossuary. Question is, we found this pretty quickly. It might, oh, there's our sewer as well. Okay, no, we'll just go in the sewer. I was thinking it might make sense to go straight into the ossuary and try to hope it's a short one. But I'm gonna make sure of the sewer so we can get our consumables. Now this is one of the things that Advil is not sure about, whether portals will be the same for everyone. So, well, we're finding out, right? Let me know. Well, let us know. Is your portal the same? Now, we have seen a curing potion, so that first one we found isn't curing. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably heal wounds. Let's see, it's the fuming white potion. Well, why don't I find out? Because we have 7 identifier scrolls. Oh, it's curing. No, okay, we'd never seen curing. Alright, well, shows what I remember. We got our first curing then. He had a blowgun and 6 poison needles. I'm going to pick that up. We don't have any other means of using venom or using damage over time if we meet something really nasty, say an early 2-headed ogre. And then I don't know what's in there. I kind of don't want to explore. Well, I kind of do. I think there's going to be another room up here. Yeah, okay. Correct. There we go. 4 curing potions. So a bunch of curing as I expected. There's one final room down there. Yeah, more curing. Potential for heal wounds. I think that's on average going to be better than a random ossuary. But anyway, we'll grab this stuff. More curing, some might. Yeah, the brilliant's not so useful though. But the others. 3 agility and a heal wounds. Yeah, it's a pretty good potion haul out of here. And if we're lucky, we haven't rested at all. We found these things pretty quickly. The ossuary will still be up. Boom. Yeah, so I think this would be one that if we went in this first, it would be difficult to get out of in time for the sewer. Or maybe not, because we're playing a Minotaur. We're just in crystal plate armor. We're barely taking any damage from these mummies. These guys can hit for 20 each. So we just fought 4 of them at the one time. Now they're slow, so you can always walk away from them, but in this starting room when they all rush you, you can take a lot of damage. It can make you have to just bail out. So I don't want to say we were lucky because this is a Minotaur in crystal plate armor again. I'm just going to keep saying that because the crystal plate armor bit's so amazing. But yeah, we were not unlucky, how about that? So we got a bunch more consumables here. Mutation, resistance, degen. Mutation and resistance both very valuable, and we got some scrolls too, which I don't know if we've seen random uselessness yet, but you can get really good scrolls if you're really lucky in ossuaries. We might have a brand weapon scroll, could be acquirement or one of those. So I guess I'm just going to read them now. Enchant armor. Let's go our crystal plate. Blinking. I didn't. Oh, I identified that. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to just read it. So I lucked out there by identifying blinking instead of wasting it like I intended to. And there's immolation. Alright, well that's really weird. That's some really spooky game sense there to use the identify on the blinking accidentally. There we go, Zag Altar. Alright, when you're starving. What is this? This big room. It's kind of scary. This is a really big vault with metal walls. But it seems like there's not actually anything in there. Just a bit of geometry maybe. So now that we don't care about having to rest, I don't mind just fighting the ogre. As long as it doesn't kill us, that is. Alright, yeah, so that big room is really nothing. Alright, looked scary. Reminded me of those big vaults you see in depths often. Alright, on we go, D6. There's a temple for real. So, well, we can check it out. Oh, it was a corrupted temple. Oh, that's crazy. I want to tell me, do you all have corrupted temples? This is a really interesting seed. Again, totally random that I picked it, but wow. Okay, so if you were hanging out for a particular god, say you were trying to find, you really wanted Trog to be a Minotaur Berserker in effect, you wouldn't find the temple until D6 here, and then turns out Trog's not even in it. So you might be waiting a very long time, whereas by worshipping Gozag on D2, we've had the benefit of a god for all this time. Now we haven't had any extremely dangerous situations, so we haven't had to use Potion Petition, but even just his passives, oh yeah, books on a Minotaur in Crystal Plate. Even him just distracting enemies with gold is still also very useful. And then, yeah, you've got the potion petition should you need it. Do we have anything for this ice beast? Not really. See that he's getting distracted by gold though. Alright, we're very strong. Also, now that we have 5 shield skill, we're pretty good. Oh, these dispersal traps. I don't think I've seen this zone vault since dispersal traps were added. So this makes it really crazy. As everyone blinks around randomly, you might land on the teleport traps and the alarm traps. That's nasty. And I don't remember my point anymore. Oh well. Something about how Gozag or having a god is good. Oh! Hey, that's Trog. Okay, so you would find him on day 6. We've just picked up Remove Curse Scrolls. I'm going to do the other unknown ones. Magic Mapping and Shadows. Shadow is a bad one to waste. But now that we have Remove Curse, we can try these rings on. Stealth, +3 Strength, Cursed, and Poison Resistance. Alright. So in this case, holding on to them effectively hurt us because we could have Poison Resistance for a very long time. But yeah, you shouldn't be randomly trying on your jewelry without Remove Curse. Well, it's a good thing we have Poison Resistance after all these ants and stuff. Ants and scorpions all coming. I'm picking this leather armor up to test if it might have negative energy. No, I was looking more for cold or fire. You see, I'm still carrying around this robe of fire resistance. I like having an RF and an RC just in case you meet, I don't know, say you meet Azrael or you meet Fana or you get an ice cave or a volcano. Getting more strength. Let's step back around the corner here. I see Mencure or Mencure. We have 2 potions of lignification, so that gives us torment immunity if he ever notices us. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother looking at what the spell books we're picking up are. We're never casting spells. We're probably never doing it as a Minotaur at all. Oh right, we're really starving. Yeah, okay, that's a really nasty enemy when you're playing Gozak and you're stuck using permafood. We can test out this rune stuff as well, which apparently we don't have because it's a little V. Yeah, okay, it's uncursed stuff of fire, so there's another way to get RF. We can get 2 pips of it if we want, if we really need to run away from something. But this allows us, say we do meet Azrael, we don't have any RF, and I just want to run away, we can wield that Staff of Fire to get a point of resistance. That's a really early hippogriff. Looking for my monster list. I wonder if the game would count that as red at this point. Probably not, probably yellow. It can bite for 12 and claw twice for 19, so it's quite a lot of damage, but it's 10 speed, so we can always walk away from it. And we got a shield, so we're strong in one-on-one fights anyway. Bees, alright, we have absolutely no issue with bees. I say that as our HP goes down. But the 2 things that make bees, or that should make bees not very scary, I say as again now we're getting low hit point warnings. The first is having R poison, which I am definitely wearing. The second is having a lot of AC. Their attacks aren't very significant, it's only up to 10 damage, it's just that they're really fast and they poison you. I'm gonna back to this point because this allows me, if I need to use an Ice Blast wand. The main difficulty of killing the bees is their high evasion, so if they can't dodge an Ice Blast, they definitely can't dodge a wrench, something like that. Bunch of jellies. I wonder if there's a Jiva ult around. That would be weird. Alright, Mincure or Mincure. We can very easily call for leave. I think that's just what I'm going to do. I can also start fighting him. Yeah, he never tormented us. I don't know. That was kind of a cocky play. Oh, he's a water paralysis. But just to hold our leak. Probably I should have just used it immediately. But I was going to wait and see until he... If he tormented us, then I'd use it. Alright, Ghost Vault. This is something that's going to be different in every game. I don't think this is a real player. I think this is just a sort of a preset one. Yeah, he's got standard wizard spells. A gargoyle can hit for 11 with a weapon of protection, so it's going to have a million AC. And it's got magic dart and blink, which are both kind of annoying. With some food though, which is always welcome on a Grozag character. We can only hit for 11, so it's not... It doesn't pack too much of a punch, and because it has blink, if I ever just walk away from it, I can probably lose it really easily. So I'm going to start fighting it. Yes, it immediately starts blinking. Oh, well, it can blink and then shoot us down with magic darts. It's actually kind of scary. Okay, I'm just going to park it actually. So I stole the food, and let's act like it's a phantom. Although actually its magic darts are doing literally no damage because we have crystal plate armor. Well, in any case, I'm going to bring it upstairs here, and then when it blinks away we can just leave it and then not have to fight it. Okay, parked. Your ghost might be very different, and I think maybe the loot might be different in a ghost vault. That's another thing you can tell me. Did yours also have a ration? Oh no. Oh no. This vault is the utter worst. It's really lucky we have our poison. Okay, these hornets are so dangerous. They're really fast. Even if you have our poison, you can be slowed, as you can see we have been. And even with our poison, they can still paralyze you. Yeah, it's an example where auto explore is better than other way around. Manually exploring is better than auto exploring. If you're someone who's played a lot of crawl and you recognize this vault, you'd see it and you wouldn't walk in. But if you're auto exploring like this, it will just bring you right in the middle and you get the double hornet surprise. Okay, well, we definitely don't want to fight both at once. If we need to get out of here, we've got 2 scrolls of blinking. We could blink back towards the stairs here. I wonder if we can... Okay, the slow wore off pretty quickly there. I wonder if we can just paralyze them. 37% chance. Oh, we're just gonna... I get stubborn when this sort of thing happens, so it took us, what, 5 goes there? Okay, so rather than... Now there's only 1. Rather than use the rest of our paralysis charges all in this 1 hornet, I stepped back to the open, similar to the bee situation, so if need be we can ice blast it. Because like bees, it's very evasive, but ice blast can't miss. We're being slowed, it's nearly dead. Okay. I mean, risking a paralysis there was kind of dangerous, but I felt fine. Probably shouldn't have though. There are more hornets? Since when does this have even more hornets? Oh, okay, well we're fighting another 2 of them. I don't want to walk back to the open from here because that's a lot of tiles to walk with a very fast hornet potentially paralyzing you. And if we got paralyzed here, both hornets could potentially get us at once. I'm not even going to bother trying to shoot an acid through them, they're both very evasive. This is crazy. If I was stuck in the middle here, maybe we'd quaff one of our 4 agility. Wow, 4 hornets at once. Well, not at once because I got to rest between them, but 4 hornets in here. I never knew it was that. I never knew this could happen. Alright, we get a bunch of food. Hashtag worth even more hornets. What's going on with D8? 5 hornets on D8. Imagine if you didn't have our poison. That's a torment scroll. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if that took some people down. Here's Grom. His wolves are really fast, so what has he got? Spear, -2 spear piercing. Okay. Well, it's usually annoying when he sits there reaching over his wolves to get you, but with a -2 spear, it's not going to be doing a whole lot. First cloak of the game. I don't know why I'm still carrying a plain chainmail. Here's another hungry ghost. Can we paralyze it? 28% chance. Yes. Works every time. That way we keep our food. There's another hungry ghost. Whoops, I nearly walked the wrong way. So we're just gonna get taxed our food. It works 28% of the time, every time. Don't ever let me complain about RNG again. There's an amulet. If I got faith, it wouldn't matter because Gozag doesn't use faith, and we've already dodged harm, so we can just put this amulet on. It's regen. Alright, that's nice. It's sort of an awkward spot. In order to get back around a corner, we've got to walk a lot of tiles. I'm going to run to this corner instead. Okay, that didn't really help. Okay. A Staff of Air. Let's pick that one up. That gives us emergency RLX. Should we need it? Did I pick it up? I didn't. There we go. That one was a bit easier. I mean, one random centaur is not going to kill us. We've got a shield and 21 AC. But still. Should follow good practices. Alright, new ring. Protection from magic, excellent. MR you always want. So let's read one of our remove curses so we can take off the strength one. And we'll have MR and poison resistance. Yeah, that's really good. Especially as a Minotaur Gladiator of Gozag, we just got trapped there. We don't have a lot of options if we meet something like a Banisher, say we met a Roker or we met an Orc Sorcerer. We can't make summons to put between us. We don't have any god abilities that make summons. So just having the MR to not get banished is probably the best situation. The Troll's kind of scary, but also not. Well, I mean he is. He can do 50 damage in a turn with max damage rolls. That's ignoring the fact that we have minimum damage, or minimum damage reduction on our armor, but still. We didn't have a lot of option but to fight him after being trapped here. Okay, double-headed ogre, nasty. I guess at least acid him once. And maybe an ice blast. Okay. The ice blast did barely any damage. He's got 2 giant spiked clubs. This is really scary actually. I'm just gonna acid again. I really want him to die. And finish him off with an ice blast. Okay, yep. And let's try this other amulet. It's Guardian Spirit. Huh. So Guardian Spirit is basically like a weaker regeneration because your magic regen now becomes HP regen, but it's also giving us an extra 9 HP, which I think is probably more valuable than the regular regeneration. If we wanted to train evocations, we could get more magic points, which would make us even more survivable, but I think we're okay. I can't imagine we're going to be wearing this Guardian Spirit amulet for the whole game. Probably my ideal would be a reflection amulet, which is very valuable when you've got a shield. because you're gonna basically reflect everything that comes your way. Plus having more shield is always good. Let's not fight killer bees in the open. No good choke points anywhere around though. I'm just gonna run back to the stairs. Fortunately only 3 of them came. I mean, you see one bee, could be facing 15 of them. It's getting distracted by imaginary riches. I hadn't even killed anything though. Oh yeah, I had the ice beast. I'm gonna X this door out actually. That vault is also kind of spooking me. I'm gonna test this hatch up. It's level 11. Ah, man. I swear this looks like I'm cheating because I just talked about Aroka a few minutes ago and then here she is. But I'm not cheating. I didn't know. I wasn't reading people's game discussion threads, I promise. Okay, so we don't know what spell set she has. Thankfully, banishment is only 14% chance due to the MR ring that we found, but that's still way too high. She might also have Crystal Spear, which is really nasty, as are any of those others. A 14% chance to paralyze when she can fireball you is nasty. Fortunately, she's at not quite max range, but quite a long ways. What's the banishment is 7, so it's full screen. It's what I expected. But I think we basically just want to run here. We don't want to risk that she's got banishment, that we get unlucky from it. Okay, I'm trying to see if she casts a spell, which she just did. We'll find out what set she has. She has banishment. There you go. So yeah, we really just don't want to fight her until and if we can have even more MR, so we're not even risking going to the abyss. And that's another question. Did anyone get banished by her? Alright, we're just going to avoid her. So this is D9. There's some chance that Lair is on this floor. Actually, now I think about this is probably an Orcish Mines entrance, maybe. But we're just going to skip this floor. We're going to hope that Lair is still coming and that we don't have to fight Aroka until a long time in the future. Okay, it's not Orcs here. Orc is a great time for a Gozag character. Let's hold that Ring of Fire. If we ever want to do a volcano or fight, what am I doing? Or fight an a fire monster, I'd much rather just have a Ring of Fire and or a Staff of Fire than a Rope of Fire resistance. New scrolls. I feel like there can't be many. If I do /- I can find out what ones we've never found yet. Brand weapon, acquirement, fog, Hollywood, silence, vulnerability. I'm going to ID this. It's fog. Okay. Alright, yeah, the other thing that Gozag like about Orc. When you find shops, you then have lots of money to buy everything in it. We have 19 Ice Blast charges all of a sudden. The Evocations training is looking ever more desirous. That's not the right word, that means you're full of desire. Desirable. Struggling with the English this morning. There's our lair, so we can indeed. There's our lair and our orcs here too, so we can ignore Aroka for a very long time, if need be. How much gold do we have? 2,600. I'm looking in the top right. I'm thinking about Core Merchant. So, it's probably not a huge pressing need. That's a Hydra. Let's stay away from that. We don't have a good way of killing hydras. Well, that's a lie. We have 19 ice blast charges, but we certainly can't use our weapon to kill it easily. Do not hit a hydra with an axe, a plain axe. Please, just don't do it. I don't care if you're in crystal plate armor. When that thing has 18 heads, you're gonna die. Oh yeah, shops. Okay, so some people don't like calling merchants much. I'm not one of them. The first one to call only costs you roughly 800 gold. So this cost here isn't actually the cost that you learn and have to pay. I think how that works. It's just how much gold you have to use the ability. And then when you use it, it will give you an option of which shops you want to fund. The shops might be cheaper or they might be more expensive. It just depends. But yeah, I think especially around this time heading into Lair, a shop can potentially be a very big boost to your character. Especially if you get a weapon shop, say you're like us, and you probably are like us because you're playing the same game. You just have a plain war axe. Getting a weapon shop, getting a broad axe of Lek at this point in the game is obviously an extremely big power boost. Don't spend all your gold though. That's the disclaimer I'll give you. If you're going to use Core Merchant, just make sure that you've got some gold left over for potion petitions. I don't know, I'd say at least 2. Here's a brown ugly thing, which is nasty. Faster than us, King Kurodos. I think in this form it's resistant to acid. It is, so our acid one won't help us here. But we can ice blast it as it approaches, which is making noise, so this might be attracting the Hydra to us. Okay. Well, that wasn't too nasty. Wand of Flame with 21 charges. So here's the Hydra. It's at max screen range here, so we could try to ice blast it down and see how we go. And then if we need to run, do we have a clear path back to an upstair? God, not really, but we have a pillar here we can run around and then get back to it. I'm going to give it a go. How many heads does it have? 8 headed, so he's the most dangerous type too. Alright, we got him. That's with 0 evocations training as well. Oh, there's a Cyclops here. Okay, you should never ever die to Cyclopses. What is all of this? I'm gonna pick up this Morning Star. This is strange. There are longswords everywhere. And a bunch of fire clouds. Okay, we can do that at the end, but I'm very intrigued by that. I don't know what that board is. Again, a very interesting seed. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Here's a weapon shop. Speaking of weapon shops, only plain war axes. Okay, not too exciting. The reason I did pick up the Morningstar there is because maces and flails cross-train with axes. So we have 9 skill in maces and flails. Given the worst sort of situation where we ended up having to fight Hydra, having a good mace is actually not a horrible backup plan. You'll sometimes see people trying to use, say, a long blade of flaming to try to fight a Hydra with no long blade skill. I definitely don't recommend you do that, but using another weapon that you're skilled with by cross-training, sure. See, we've also got polearms, so if you're a Minotaur like this with an axe without flaming, carrying around a mace and flail or a polearm are both very legitimate ways to fight Hydras. I'd still feel wary about fighting one from full HP with your mace, but say you ice blasted it a bit to soften it up, you could then finish it off with Well, in this case, we got a Morning Star. And I just realized I didn't go check out what that weird sword thing was. It's down 1-4. Is there anything actually here? Maybe. Let's put it on the Ring of Fire. So we don't just get insta-killed. Oh, there's a book. I think there's a book of clouds maybe, or it could be a fire book or something. I'm kind of curious to know because this seems like a pretty cool vault, and I'm going to guess that there's a nice theme to this book. But if I die to this file, the Book of Dreams. Okay, so maybe I'm not quite sure what the reference here is. Maybe because you're dreaming, because this is just so weird. Anyway, let's go back to Lair. The fact that we have poison resistance is really nice. Not crucial, but it's nice. It makes your life easier. Okay, we're still picking up poison needles. Watch, I'm never going to use it, but we're going to pick them up all the same. Another thing about Lair is that it has a bunch of vaults in it that are going to give you food. So let's say you're struggling a bit with Gozag here, and you were running a bit low on permafood. You could have run or tried to dive down to Lair, because you're going to find a bunch of food in there. We've found a potion of experience. How's our one situation? We've got a little bit of acid, a little bit of paralysis, 10 ice blast. I'm half tempted. Let's just quaff this first. So let's have a look. Say we put it all in fighting, we'd be going from 10 to 13.5. Okay, not insignificant. It would give us extra HP, but that's not really game breaking. I don't know. I mean, our character is pretty strong. A bit more fighting wouldn't change our lives very much. Let's say we do more armor. Sort of similar thing. Dodging, we could get to 10. See, that would be a lot of dodging. But still not that exciting because we're wearing a crystal plate armor without enough strength to really make it work. Shield, again, not that exciting. If we did evocations, we can get from 0 up to 7.3. We have some decent wands, and we also have Guardian Spirit right now, which would give us more magic points. I feel like this might be the play. Or of course you could just do a mix of things. Say you were, I don't know, you wanted to just spread it around. This wouldn't, again, it would make your character a bit stronger, but probably not in an extremely noticeable way. You'd have a little bit more on all your relevant skills. But I think having 7 evocations points rather than 0, and I don't have to physically train it, so I don't have to go through the pain of turning the skill on myself. I think I like this. Let's go more strength. I don't like that it went to 7.3, so I think I am going to have to train it after all. I'm going to focus evocations just to 8, just so it's a round number. And we got 6 extra magic points out of that, so it's like 6 extra HP, which is not bad. And then our Ice Blast is going to do more damage. Not that we've got many paralysis left, but we're going to be a lot better with that too now. Here's MiGl. Her main scary thing is Bolt of Draining, and we don't have any RN. I'm going to fight her on the stairs. She also makes these orc summons. Well, this is a lot easier in offline because they get names on them, but you need to pay attention to these because if she summons warlords, they're quite scary. Like that. But the reason I was waiting for her on the stairs is so that I could just go back up. Like with any summoner, her orcs won't follow her between floors. So if she does this, we just go back down. Reset the fight. Here's a Hydra. How many on this one? 4 heads. Alright. We're going to go to our unknown stair. I don't want to be next to a Hydra. Even with the Morning Star, which we should wield. Could be Curse -3, which would be nice to know now before we actually try to use it. New nets always welcome. And really, aside from any uniques we meet here and Hydras, we should have a pretty easy time here and there. But we've got 7 evocations now, so I'm going to Ice Blast it twice. It's nearly dead. It's only a 4-headed Hydra. So now I'm going to pull out the Morning Star. Apparently I'm not trying to. What I did there is I used =I to change the Morning Star to the letter B. And now by hitting apostrophe I can switch between the weapons on A and B. Yeah, cool. On we go. We got Spider's Nest. Oh yeah, I'm just holding these enchant weapon scrolls as well. A plain war axe is not really exciting. If it were a plain broad axe, I might consider enchanting it, but not a plain broad axe. Oh yeah, okay, watch. I bet we get Spider's Nest and Swamp. Do you know why I'm saying that? Not because I'm cheating. I bet you. Okay, I bet you now we definitely get those two, because then it makes me look like I'm cheating. I'm predicting things that I already knew the answer to. The reason I'm saying that is because for Gozag, you can only bribe branches that have intelligent monsters in them. So you can bribe Snake and Shoals, but you can't bribe Swamp or Spider because they're animal branches. So I'm guessing now that we're gonna get the 2 branches that make our god much less useful. Well, we definitely got 1, so I didn't guess Spider, but the Swamp bit. Ah, there it is. Called it. I knew it. I swear I'm not cheating here. I didn't know that was actually the case. Alright, so yeah. Well, we're probably not going to have a flaming weapon. I mean, we might find one, but the odds are we're probably not. So we want to keep an eye out for any decent maces and flails or polearms, so we can fight Hydras in there. But that's a while off, so we don't have to be ready for that just yet. And I think I'm going to have to leave it here. So join me for the next one. We'll finish off Lair, and then we'll head to Orcish Mines. Oh yeah, I forgot, we could buy shops. Well, maybe we'll buy a shop. Anyway, see you all next time.